Hey there, and welcome back to Tim Talks Cooking. Today, we are talking coconut flour pancakes, my friend. That is right. We are talking keto, low-carb, coconut flour pancakes. And I'm going to make a big old batch of them. So tell you what, let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make these delicious pancakes. You start off with a half a cup of coconut flour, a teaspoon of baking powder, a half a teaspoon of kosher salt, and a half a teaspoon of stevia powder. The stevia powder I use is the equivalent of 1 teaspoon of sugar for every 1/8 teaspoon of stevia powder. I've got a cup of heavy cream here, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Use pure vanilla extract. The imitation is really not worth whatever it costs. I've got a half a cup of melted butter here, as well as 6 large eggs, and I've got some berries here to use afterwards to make a little syrup and maybe a little garnish for these. This will be delicious. Of course, you can always serve these with sugar-free maple syrup if you like. Okay, time to roll our sleeves up and get these pancakes made. Whenever I make any cake-like sort of thing or biscuit, I combine the dry ingredients first and just combine them so they're blended nicely and thoroughly. And then I blend together all of the wet ingredients. Here we've got the eggs, which I've already beaten, our cream. Of course, we want to get all that goodness out of there. Don't leave it in the cup. There we go. The melted butter. A little drop there. The vanilla extract. And give them a little mix. Gently, my bowl is a little small, I guess, or well, that's all right. And in it goes. We'll whisk these together until they form a smooth batter. And what you have to watch for here, coconut flour is kind of unusual. It's not like wheat flour. First of all, notice how little it took, half a cup, to make this huge batch, right? Coconut flour absorbs liquid in a kind of amazing way, in amazing quantities, I think. We want this batter, this is actually kind of perfect right here, but you want to watch the consistency of it. You don't want it to be too thick. You want it to be kind of thick, but not too thick, and not too thin. If it thickens up, you want to add a little bit of water. You could also add a little more cream. If it gets really thick, you could add another egg. Now I've got a smooth batter here, and we're ready to go to the stove and get cooking. My skillet is heating up over medium heat for just a couple of minutes, and while we wait, just a couple of things. First of all, when you're cooking with coconut flour, keep in mind that it burns at a lower temperature than wheat flour does, so we have to use a lower heat, in this case medium, not medium-high heat. Also, we're on a diet. We're going to have smaller pancakes than the skillet-sized pancakes I used to love when overeating was my major passion, right? So I'm going to use these egg rings that you've seen me use in other videos to shape our pancakes. We're going to start by, now my skillet's hot, oh yeah, giving it a spray. I'm going to get my rings in there, maybe even lower the heat a little bit. And we're just going to pour in a little bit in each one. And here we go, it smells great already. That coconut flour is really fragrant. Notice I've used a measuring cup here that has a lip on it. That makes it so much easier to pour, and it makes the mess just a little bit less. What I'm also going to do here, and that one needs to be scooched in a little bit, there we go. I'm also going to cook these with the lid on. That'll make it faster for them to cook all the way through. After about 4 minutes, this is what you'll find. Here you can see they've risen, they're bubbly, and it's time to turn them over. Get on in there, flip it, and make that flat. And there we go, the ring comes right off. And if it doesn't, just leave it on until it loosens itself. No need for any extra effort. There we go. And 3 makes 3, there we go. We're going to let these cook again for about 2 minutes with the lid on again. After 2 minutes, here's what we've got. Look at that. How about that? You can tell whether they're done by touching them if you're not sure. And there you go. I'm going to remove these to a wire rack and cook the other ones. I'm going to do this until I've finished up all my batter. While we're waiting for the rest of the pancakes to cook, let me just show you what these are like on the inside. This is tender and fluffy. It's airy, very bread-like. It's delicious. You're going to love these. We can also make a little syrup out of some berries while we're waiting. Here I've got a handful of blueberries and raspberries. They were frozen. And I'm going to add a nugget of butter to it, as well as a quarter of a teaspoon of this stevia powder. You use whatever sweetener you like and sweeten it to whatever sweetness you like. I'm going to put this on the stove and bring it to a simmer. Once you brought your berries up to a simmer, you can turn the flame off and put them into another container. Here I'm going to use the container for my immersion blender. You can also use the carafe for your blender. Anyway, I'm just going to give them a whoosh. And there we are. We're halfway there. Raspberries are full of pesky little seeds, and so if you mind that, I really don't mind it too much. Actually, I could eat this just like this, but this is a way to smooth out your sauce and to make it really nice on your palate. It'll give it a really nice mouthfeel this way. I'm going to push it through this fine mesh sieve, and as you can see, there we go. And that's what we're going to use for pancake syrup. 2 of these pancakes makes 1 serving, and that's about 280 calories and just under 2 carbs. I'm going to add a little of our berry syrup on this, and if I wanted to, I could add some heavy whipped cream as a nice whipped cream here. I think that'd be lovely. That's a little fancy for me this morning. This will be just fine. Let's have a taste. Well, all right, let's give them a taste here. Oh, it looks so good. They're so cute. That is just lovely. It's light and fluffy, very airy, cake-like texture. The berry syrup is just delicious. This is exactly the sort of thing you should be having for breakfast. And I say have your breakfast. You know what? I got 7 generous servings out of this recipe today. I really hope you'll try it. I also hope that before you go, you will like, share, comment, and especially subscribe to my channel, which helps my channel grow. It also helps you find my videos. Make it even easier by clicking on that bell symbol to get notifications whenever I upload videos, which is actually a couple of times a week. Thanks for joining us here today, and we'll catch you next time at Tim Talks Cooking.